So on Twitter, I was just asked by Ramiro Rodriguez. Brian, I know that you mentioned that JD got you to start RFC. What got you to start collecting Transformers? And tell me about how your wife has liked it or has dealt with it. Just curious. My wife has dealt with it, but it's taken her time to understand. Okay, so, well, first, JD got me to bring back RFC. We did RFC, of course, back in the 90s and early 2000s. And for various reasons, we stopped doing it, mostly personal, time-related. But after about a 4-year break, JD really got to start back. And we've been going ever since. So how did I get into collecting Transformers? Well, I first started in '84, like most people my age. I collected and collected. And probably around 87, 88, I sort of segued into G.I. Joe. I really just focused on G.I. Joe until 92, 93, when I sort of just kind of gave up on toys in general. Then back in 1996, when I was a junior in high school, I had a project where I had to pick a decade and actually do a report on it. So I picked the 80s. My report was awesome. It was this audio-visual thing. I had an episode of the A-Team going on, the big screen in the library. I had a diorama about Reagan. Then I had, like, all my toys that I pulled out of my closet. And I pulled all my Transformers out. I still had 30 or 40 at that point. And I never actually put them back in the closet. I kind of just kept them out and displayed them. Until I got my hands on a... this is almost embarrassing because, obviously, Transformers the movie is not that great. No matter what people say. I mean, it's a fun movie. I've watched it hundreds of times. I know it word for word, but it's not really classic. It's not classic animation. But I got my hands on a bootleg copy of Transformers the movie, and I watched it over and over and over again. And then from there, I just, started buying toys. I got into Beast Wars. I caught up and rewatched G1, reread all the comics that had been published to that point, US and UK. Basically got into reading, watching all the Japanese series. So I pretty much, by 2000, 2001, I had pretty much got all the Transformers media that existed to that point. It seems like it was this long stretch of time, but really it was only like 3 or 4 years. I mean, now that's the time between movies, or really, the time between high school and being a hardcore collector just seemed like this big long progression. But now, in the hindsight of age, I mean, I really got back in and all that within just a matter of a few years. Then I was pretty hardcore through about Energon, and after Energon, I kind of just stopped, and at that point, started dating my now wife, and she knew that I had a bunch of toys, but she really didn't know to what extent, because for the most part, they were back in the closet, except for the stuff that I really cared about. We got married in '08, and that was about the point when I started buying all the animated stuff. And I bought all of the animated stuff. And it really kind of came as a shock to her. Because when we were dating, I wasn't buying any of this stuff. So, she deals with it. She helps me regulate myself. I don't buy everything. I don't come close to buying everything. But I buy just about everything that I want. I don't feel compelled to own it all. Thankfully, because a lot of it's crap. But, she takes it in stride, and she's pretty awesome. We're actually, like we'd mentioned on RFC this week, we're going to Jolanta tomorrow. She's going with me. She's going to be taking photos because she really enjoys doing that stuff. She's really taken to this whole convention thing. She really likes it, so she's pretty awesome. And of course, I couldn't do the podcast and all the videos without her buy-in because, of course, it takes a lot of my time, and it has taken a lot of money. It's pretty cheap to do, but when I first started, you don't get like all the equipment and everything without putting a little bit of cash into it. So, my wife's awesome. So how did you guys get into collecting? Have you always done it? Did you just recently get in? Did something in particular sort of, you know, hook you? Sound off. Let me know.